Hi everyone, welcome back to One Mouse, One Dream. I'm so excited because today is going to be another video for my travel series that I'm doing every other week leading up to our trip to the most magical place on earth, Walt Disney World, in February. So we are just 48 days out from our trip. Oh my gosh, so exciting. Time has just flown by absolutely fast since we planned our trip. And the countdown just seems to be flying by. I mean, my husband and I work in retail, which I've said many times before in other videos, and this time of year just goes by so fast because of the retail industry and Christmas shopping and so on and so forth. And so many other things have been going on in our lives as well that have just made time fly too. So I just know these next, basically what, 5 weeks, I guess, it will go by so fast. And, with Christmas only being 9 days away, I know that these next 9 days are definitely going to go by fast. And then before you know it, it's going to be January and it'll be like a month out from our trip. So cannot wait. But today's video is going to be a fun crafting video. I love to do crafts in my spare time, whether it's scrapbooking, painting, I don't know, any other kind of hands-on things that I like to create with, my spare time. I love doing fun things for our Disney trip. I love making things for our Disney trip, and probably one of the most exciting things I love making for our trip, besides like t-shirts or anything else, I love doing window decorations. Now, some of you might think, what are window decorations? Well, I got this idea probably on one of my trips as a child with my family. I saw people do this and it's become more and more popular over the years. But what happens is you create some decorations that you like to hang on the windows or put in the window at your hotel on property. Now, I don't think people do this off property, but I don't know because I've never stayed off property when I've gone to Walt Disney World. Well, I lied, that one time, but it's because we had no choice to stay, but off property because it was a conference that my dad was at. So anyways, what people do is they make some sort of decorations to go along with their trip, whether it's their resort they're staying at or maybe like a celebration that they're, experiencing during their vacation to Disney. Or maybe it's the time of year, is it Christmas? Is it Easter? Is it Halloween? And you can sort of play off of those themes as well. For example, I did one for our honeymoon, and that was obviously, honeymoon related. Then I also did one the following year. I made it just an all-star sports theme. The next year I did sort of a Pittsburgh Steelers, Pirates, and Penguins theme because, again, we stayed at All-Star Sports the last 3 times and, played it off that. So this year I'm doing something different because we're staying at Pop Century, which we've never stayed at before. And I know some of you guys have mixed reviews about Pop Century, but from my family and friends that have stayed there, they've had nothing but great reviews about the resort. So I hope we have the same experience as well. One of the benefits of having room decorations on your window, it helps you locate your room. Disney resort properties are very, very large and very vast, and you can easily get lost. And sometimes if you're forgetting what room number you are, something like that, especially in your first couple of days, you're like, oh, what's my room number again? It's going to be helpful for you to have these decorations on the outside of your window to help sort of find your room a little bit easier, especially if you're not sure if it's this one or that one. And if you spot your decorations, you're going to know exactly which room is yours. So besides that, it's just fun. It's fun to, have a little bit extra magic in your trip to make it more special and more memorable. Like I said, I try to do a different theme or type of decor every time we go, and like I said, I'm having fun with it this time because it's our first time staying at Pop Century. So this year I decided to do a little something different. I've always used my Cricut, machine to cut out different shapes and things like that, and sort of use double-sided tape or string or something to put everything together. And this year I decided to do something a little different. I found this really cool idea off of Pinterest on how to make your own personal window clings. So, you see all these different types of window clings, the gel window clings, as well as those like plastic ones, which plastic ones I've come to find out don't stay on that well. I bought a couple of them for Christmas and they do stay on, but there's a couple of them that like just aren't staticky enough and they just don't seem to stick, but nonetheless, I still have some of them hanging up. But I wanted to try something different and I wanted to make my own window clings. So all you need is basically the little scribble paints that you can get at your local craft store. This is what they look like. They have that, thin tip at the top that you can squeeze out. And you can get these in all different kind of colors. You can be very inexpensive about this, especially if you only want to do a few different colors, as far as your designs go and everything like that. I actually have a bunch of these on hand already, but I did go out and purchase this one pack that I saw at Michael's, which I thought was like perfect for what I'm trying to do because we're staying at Pop Century. And Pop Century, from what I've seen in pictures, is a lot of like vibrant, bright colors, neon-y colors, and so on and so forth. And I found this pack of scribble paints. There's 6 paints in here. There's a black, a neon yellow, neon pink, a neon purple, neon blue, and a lime, like a neon green color. And I thought it was really fitting because it does actually have pop in the title there of what the packet is. And it's actually an 80s theme one, but I just thought for what I was trying to come and do, I just thought this was really fitting. This, I believe, was around like $15, and I had a 55% off coupon, so roughly about $8 with tax. And I didn't think it was that expensive because, like I said, you could go out and spend and buy like specific decorations to hang in your window, but I'm trying to do this as least expensive as possible. And this is the only money that I've really spent to do this project because, as I said before, I did have quite a bit of puffy paints already on hand from different projects that I've done in the past, so I didn't really have to go out and buy a ton of paints. The next thing that you're going to need, and again, you probably have this in your kitchen drawer or wherever you keep your paper products, but you're going to need either parchment paper or wax paper. It's said to use wax paper because it's a little bit more see-through for what the project that you're going to be doing with, but I'm going to try parchment paper. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to do it all over again and go get the wax paper. But we were just making Christmas cookies and I ran out of wax paper, so I don't have any more, so hopefully this is going to work. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to think of the design or theme that you want to do for your window clings. Because we're staying at Pop Century, I wanted to do a Pop Century theme, and what I decided to do is I just went and basically cut and paste like some clip art and like copied and paste, sorry. I went to look at images on Google or something and typed in a Mickey Mouse head or a Minnie head or flower power theme or something like that. And I came across a couple different things that I decided to put like in a Word document and cut and paste and then print them out in grayscale. So I hope you guys can see these. These are some like flower themes, which you can definitely see around Pop Century. And there's just some different sizes and things that I printed out. So that's one that I printed out. The other thing that I most definitely printed out was a Mickey head as well as a Minnie head. And again, you don't have to worry about putting these in color because you're going to be using the scribble paint to basically create the image of what you're seeing here. And then because we're staying at Pop Century, I had to print out some words that said Pop Century. And then because, we're staying in 2016, I also printed out a 2016 number as well too. So basically the whole idea to do this, it's really simple, really easy, is you're going to take your parchment paper, tear off a little bit, and the whole idea is to put your word, oh yeah, it's going to work okay. So you can use parchment paper. You're going to put your word underneath the parchment paper and lie this flat onto a table. Then with the scribble paint, you're going to use whatever color you want to use and basically outline and fill in whatever you're going to trace. So I will show you guys how that works in just a second. Okay, so one thing I thought of before actually starting is because my table is a little bit slippy, it doesn't really have any kind of grip to it, I did grab a roll of tape and I am going to tape down all of my pieces that I'm going to trace at this time. And then what I'm planning on doing is also taping down the parchment paper as well so that it doesn't move around and that I can really make sure I'm tracing around the design that I want to trace. So that's what I'm going to do now. And it doesn't matter, you know, what you're taping on this or whatever, because that's not where you're going to be coloring in. You just want to make sure you give yourself enough space to do all of your pieces so that they don't run into each other. And I'm going to try to fit this other one on here. I just want to see what size my paper is. Oh yeah, I can fit that there. And again, you don't have to be perfect about this. The only thing you're going to want to try to be perfect about is when you're actually tracing. So the parchment paper, I'm going to probably tape quite a bit because I want that to make sure it stays in place. So as you can see from the parchment paper being over top, you can see that you can clearly and definitively see the shapes of the items and that you're going to trace. And again, this can be whatever designs you want to do. You can just strictly do Minnie and Mickey and the gang. You know, if you're staying at French Quarter, you could do it like a French Quarter theme. If you're staying at music, you could do like a music theme to it. But I'm hoping this is going to turn out pretty cool. But we shall see. So now what you want to do is you want to pick out your paint that you want to use for the flowers. So I'm definitely going to make all these flowers different. And what's cool about using the parchment paper, you can reuse your actual flower or your other cutouts over and over again because you're not going to ruin that because the paint's going to stay on top of the parchment paper. So I'm going to just choose a color and basically get started. So the first color I chose is blue. I mean, again, you can choose whatever you want to use. What I did read on the page that I found on Pinterest is to always shake up your little scribble paint for a little bit, and you always want to do a test location. So I'm just going to do it up here in the top corner. You can't really see me doing, but just to make sure you have like a nice smooth flow to it. So I'm going to start with this flower up here, and basically what you're going to do is you're just going to go through and outline as best as you can. So I could, as you can see, if you can see there, okay, I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit. There we go. So you can see I created just a little bit of an outline. Now it does say to let this dry, but I'm gonna see if I can try on this one and fill it in without messing it up too much. If I do find that it's not going to look the best if I try filling it in without letting it dry a little bit, then obviously the next flowers I do, I'm going to let it dry a little bit. So let's see how this works. Oh, I think it's fine. You just have to sort of do it in small little sections. Don't squeeze a lot of the paint out. But you want to make sure you cover the entire area. Let me do up here. I don't know if you guys can see on the video, but this is like a little, oh yeah, you can. It's a sparkle paint that I have for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish filling in with the blue that I want to do, and then I think I'm going to do the center of the flower a different color. Okay, there you guys can see I have the blue part of the flower filled in. And just something else to keep in mind, sometimes on the tip you're going to get a little bit of extra overflow. It's good to keep a napkin or a paper towel or something handy to wipe that clean. And also to, you know, sort of stop halfway through your piece that you're outlining and filling it in, because you want to make sure you shake it and to, you know, eliminate any kind of air bubbles. Because what will happen with these scribble paints is you can get an air bubble in there and it's going to then splatter your paint, and you don't want that to happen. So I think the flower looks pretty good so far. I just want to go back through and just fill in any little extra places, because you do want to do this somewhat thick so that you have like a nice cling. At least that's what it said on the Pinterest page that I found this. So I'm just going to go back over and just add a little bit to the areas that I think are a little bit light. And I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. There we go. So now I'm going to choose the color for my center of the flower. And I think I want to do, let's see. I think I'm going to do silver. So I'm going to shake up this one again, try to get it mixed up well. Then take the cap off and do a little test. I'm gonna do a test run over here. And now I'm gonna fill in the center with silver. And when you get around like the edges of the other color, you wanna try not to move it around too much so that you know, mess up the other color. This one, right now is having an air bubble issue, so I'm just shaking that out. All right, so there we have my first flower finished. I'm going to now continue on with the other flowers and make them some other fun colors. I do have to mention, after so long your hands do get tired, so just take a break from it and, you know, set the paint down for a little bit and take your, you know, take a break if that happens. Or just try holding your paint in like a little different, like, you know, ways or directions or something like that. Okay, so now you guys can see I have all the flowers done. I'm planning on doing different color flowers. I'd say I'm probably going to do at least another 5 flowers like you see here, but just in different color schemes. All right, so now I'm doing the Pop Century and then 2016, and I just realized I did 2015, but I'm gonna easily make that into a 6, so I'm not gonna worry about it. So let's get started with this. Alright, so now I have Pop Century 2016. I was able to make that 5 into a 6, and I think it turned out okay. So now the last ones that I have to do are the Mickey and the Minnie. Alright, so the last ones I have to do are the Mickey and the Minnies. I have 2 of each to do. Obviously the Mickeys I'm just going to do all in black, and then I'm going to do 1 pink bow and 1 purple bow. And I think I'm going to end up probably duplicating these another time as well as the flowers, just so I have enough to do the window. I don't think I'm going to do anything else, but I think that's what I'm planning so far. So let's get into it. And now the Mickey and Minnies are complete. So I've gone ahead and you guys have seen I've done all 4 Mickey and Minnies, the Pop Century 2016, which did say 2015, but I fixed it and made it to a 6. And I did 5 different colored flowers. So what I didn't realize was that it's going to take quite a bit of time to let these dry. It says on the Pinterest page, it says to go ahead and let them dry for 2 days before you start peeling them to make sure that they fully dried. So unfortunately I didn't think that through. I didn't look at that part when I started to do this and plan to film this video on Wednesday, which is the days I upload the videos for this series. So I apologize, I can't show you if they work yet or not. You'll have to stay tuned in 2 weeks to see if they work. But what I will say so far about the project, it's fairly inexpensive to do. It's very easy to do. I mean, everybody can trace. You do have to have some sort of a steady hand to be able to do it, and not get the paint too messy as far as like, the air bubbles and things. You have to make sure that you're continuously sort of shaking down the scribble paint so that it doesn't like splatter everywhere. And you also want to give your hand a break too, because squeezing that paint for a long period of time trying to be steady, it does hurt your hand. I did take a couple minutes here and there, but overall it wasn't that bad. I think it looks great so far. I hope it really does work, because this probably will be one of the easiest window decorations that I've done thus far for all of our trips. And if it works, I'm probably going to use this again and again. And also, now that I'm thinking about it, if it does work, I probably will take the time and do other decorations for other seasons and things too, because buying those gel clings, you can't always find the ones that you want, and you can't really find too many Disney gel clings. I did see them at Lowe's this year, and I meant to pick them up, but then I forgot. And when my mother-in-law went back to try to find them, they were sold out. So no worries, but if this works, by all means, I'm going to do this for other times of the year besides just Disney trips. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video and saw how easy it is so far. Fingers crossed that it does work, because I will be one happy girl. If it doesn't, that's okay. I spent maybe $5 at most with the scribble paint that I've used for the project so far, and and spend about maybe an hour and a half worth of time doing it, so not that big of a loss. But I hope you guys have a great day. My next video, I'm going to update you guys with whether or not these worked and show you if they do work, show you how you can create a really cool window display. And then I'm also going to update you guys as far as like my final 4 weeks of planning for Disney. I'm going to show you like what kind of lists and things that I make, because the next video will be the week of New Year's, and that will be 4 weeks exactly until Disney, which I cannot believe. So these next 2 weeks I know are going to fly by because of Christmas and things. I hope you guys, whoever celebrates Christmas, I hope you guys have a great, Christmas as well as a Happy New Year. And for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas and celebrate other holidays, there's obviously too many for me to mention, but I hope you guys enjoy your holidays as well. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.